Yeah, he retired in 1990, and that's when I first heard that his health was in decline. So his health has literally been in decline for 30 years. That's crazy to think about. With Harley, it's always been one of those things. And then what's really crappy is, like, superstar Billy Graham is such an asshole, and his health has been declining even longer, and yet he's still alive. And that just proves how unfair life is. Because that guy is such an asshat with all of his commentary. Where, like, if you criticize him, he, like, cuts a promo video on you and tells you to die. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be, like, a good Christian? What the I don't get it. I think he's got some mental issues, but...
A different Billy Graham.
Yeah, for sure. Not that Billy Graham. No, this Billy Graham's a religious guy, too. Which is ridiculous. I have some Impact news, guys. Believe it or not, I know. Impact,
and, like,
right?
four parts.
Yeah. So, first of all... Their most recent episode of Impact on Twitch was the seventh most watched channel of all time on Twitch. They got 3 million total views. So Twitch is a really, really good outlet for Impact, and I think that's very important to note. I
think it's a great format for most companies.
Hey, just like us, we're on Twitch right now. That wasn't sarcastic. Damn it. That wasn't sarcastic, damn it. On other Impact news, well, this ties into Ring of Honor, but Madison Rayne has officially left Ring of Honor and is now back with Impact. That's her plan. And also re-signed are Rosemary Falaba and Sami Callihan for those dangerous workers.
Done right by those three, so...
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Sami Callihan, but is what it is. And one of Dan's favorites, Lufisto, is retiring.
Yeah, she says she's retiring. She doesn't know the specifics yet because her knee's been fucked up forever.
Shame.
Like predating her back, her back being fucked up and having her like semi-retiring for 2 years. Her knee's been like back to like 2003. So, and it never got taken care of properly because she didn't want to be the little girl that couldn't handle wrestling, and that
which is where it
pretty much ruined her body for the rest of her life.
Yeah, that's where it gets you in the end. But,
indeed.
But switching across the pond, the big pond, the really really big pond, on the other side of the country,
Metzger's Pond.
We have new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, they won with one of the biggest power bombs I've ever freaking seen.
Gorillas of Destiny for the 5th time, second most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tied for second most. Of course, the most is Tenkozy.
And at that Garden show, they got some challengers too, and they've accepted. And who challenged them, Glenn?
Them boys.
Them boys.
Them boys.
10-time ROH Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
In a title for title match.
Yeah, dude.
That's gonna be crazy.
Someone's going to walk out with their own title because it's going to be a draw.
I actually wouldn't be surprised to see it end up in a draw.
If they're going to do something, it's going to be Briscoes winning both belts, probably.
That'd be crazy. That would be nuts, but could happen.
It could.
And now joining us in the studio, my cat Lily.
She's on my lap. I can't remember what was the last time I saw the Briscoes actually in an actual, straight up New Japan show.
When they won and then the 6-man tag titles, like the first month of those titles' existence.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Didn't they do a Wrestle Kingdom show not too long ago? They were basically just fodder for it, but they were there.
Yeah, that was like
it was like 4 years ago, wasn't
it? AJ's leaving.
Yeah.
I think was that show.
That's crazy. Time goes by back fast.
It really does.
When you think about, I think it was when the AJ Nakamura farewell match thing. I think they were there, and then the next night they won the 6-man tag titles.
Crazy.
It is crazy. And of course, we've got AEW news. Now, we mentioned that Ty Dillinger officially got his release. He's going to be back to being Shawn Spears. That was his prior WWE name. And they made him Gavin Spears, which was weird. And also didn't get over.
It was Stan.
Stan. He was Stan. But he's very likely to end up with AEW, so we should be seeing him pretty soon. They do have an official signee, though. Don't they, Dan?
Yes, it was on. You guys should be watching. You should be following Nightmare Family on YouTube. They're doing Road to videos every week, and they got B. Priestley, who is over in England and is in a relationship with Will Ospreay. So
she probably does all the flippy shit too.
You know, she does Stardom and stuff, and I've heard some people say she's not that great, but I don't know. I think if she's willing, if she's good enough that Brandy and Cody are like, yes, definitely call her, then they see something.
But so we've got, I think that wraps up the news.
But
right?
she's not supposed to wrestle until the second show. But she might show up at Double or
She might be there, yeah. That about wraps up the news. So did anybody figure out who the winner of the Ring of Honor 11th anniversary show was in that main event? Because I know. Glenn, you want to take a guess?
The winner of the show?
The winner of the main event
match.
I'll go with Cesaro.
It's actually a good guess.
That's a pretty good guess, but no.
It's a pretty good guess. The man who lost the match was Jay Lethal.
Yes,
okay, I knew Lethal was in the match.
And the winner was...
And still Ring of Honor World Champion.
It's still Ring of Honor World Champion is Kevin Steen.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
That's when they were doing the scum thing.
I knew for a fact Lethal was going to be in the match. Just a matter of who he fought.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
Because Lethal has been like their top guy for years now.
Mm-hmm.
He's still one of their champions, right? Right now?
Lethal's still the champion.
The champion, all right.
Mm-hmm. And Jeff Cobb is the TV champion.
Yes, I do remember that.
And of course, them boys are the tag team champions.
It's still weird for me to see Jeff Cobb wrestle. And be like, that's Matanza.
I always find it weird when I watch him on a New Japan show and, you know, he's not in a mask. And I'm just like, look at him. He's Matanza.
His body even looks different. You're like, that's Matanza? I don't buy it. But no, it is.
I don't believe this for a second.
You watch the Tour of the Island and you're like, hey, that's the Wrath of the Gods. Oh, right. Same dude.
Of the Gods.
He's so fucking good, though. I think a guy that's that freaking huge and strong is a fucking mat wrestler. Oh.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
Like Brock Lesnar was. He's that huge and strong, and he's freaking mat boy.
Indeed. So, I got to give a shout-out to our patrons. Glenn Kukan, Andrew Whitaker, Jeff Trelowitz, Jay Winger, and Adrian Cotton. Thank you guys for your continued patronage. And if you guys can afford the donations for the $10 a month donation, we'll get your name a shout-out on this show. And, well, the $5 donation will get you the shout-out. The $10 one will get you your own segment if you choose. And I'd like to read this week's Organized World of the AWO from Adrian Cotton, greatest wrestling company no one ever heard of.
I never heard of him.
Well, you will after this segment. Everyone knows that professional wrestling is filled with bad guys. People who break the rules or do devious things both in and out of the ring. But one man takes it to a whole new level. His name is the natural Dale Garvin. Dale is obsessed with wrestling. He feels that he was born to be not just a wrestler, but the greatest wrestler ever. Now, because of this obsession, when something happens that goes against that belief, Dale's temper rears its ugly head and bad things happen. He's attacked referees, cameramen, and even tried to run over another wrestler with his car. The only reason he's still employed with the AWO is because Jack Houston, the AWO president, feels that it would make for better matches and people will pay to see Dale get his butt kicked. Also, as AWO color commentator, super stud Marcus Ryan once said, "People did worse than that in the territory days." It's clear to see that Dale Garvin's finisher, the Garvin Special, isn't the only thing you have to fear when you're in the ring with the Natural. To experience how ruthless Dale Garvin is, grab a copy of AWO Big Time Players Episode 1, available at Amazon as an ebook and also a paperback. Dale Garvin. Now, here's my question. Is Dale Garvin related to Ronnie Garvin? Is Jack Houston related to Sam Houston? And is Marcus Ryan related to Joey and Mason?
Oh, Jesus.
When you started out and it was like, everybody knows, and I was like, everybody knows, wants to know.
I was wondering where you were going with that, and Mason Ryan rears its ugly head.
I thought of Joey first, but then I had to drop a Mason Ryan reference because, screw that guy.
Yeah, Welsh Batista boy.
Welsh Tista. So, I have an idea for this week's Positivity Zone by Jay Winger. Even though Glenn is the point czar, I have something positive I want to talk about. Breakfast cereal. Because today, during grocery store Fortnite, which I also survived, by the way, I went down the breakfast cereal aisle for the first time in a long time, and I was looking at all the cereals, and I was just like, man, I've got a cereal hankering again. And what I bought were Trix with the new fruity shapes making their return.
Oh, really?
Because I haven't had Trix in a long time, and Trix is a great breakfast cereal. So I want to talk about some of the best breakfast cereals out there that I've always been a fan of. The big one has always been Cap'n Crunch. Put in some crunch berries.
All berries.
And, yeah, oops, all buried. An old POC winner from way back in the day. When we did wrestling themed breakfast cereals, and Triple H's Oops All Buried was the winner.
Yes, it was.
In before somebody suggests that as a points or consequences game. It's we might be able to do that again, but don't you dare play Oops All Buried.
It's been a while. It could come back.
It could come back, yeah. One of the greatest things they ever invented was they did the Captain Crunch Home Run Derby cereal, and it had marshmallows, and the Captain Crunch shapes were baseballs and baseball bats. So it was basically Captain Crunch with marshmallows, which was effing incredible.
Or otherwise known as Dick and Balls.
All I know is that Captain Crunch plus marshmallows is cereal crack.
I honestly don't remember that.
Oh, I remember it because I ate the crap out of it.
My cereal doesn't cut the roof of your mouth.
I was also always a really big fan of the Rice Krispie Treat cereal because I love Rice Krispie Treats. So it's basically just sweet chunks of Rice Krispie Treats and milk. That stuff was always delicious. Your classic stuff I've always enjoyed. There haven't been a lot of breakfast cereals I've actually hated, but the one that I can't say anything positive about is Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, you suck.
Well, every time I have ever eaten Fruity Pebbles, I've gotten a horrible stomachache afterwards. 100% of the time. And I've actually tried multiple times. Always happens. So, I don't hate them. I don't hate the taste, but I can't eat them.
And Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops are my two favorites.
Oh, they have Fruit Loops with marshmallows now? Again, more crack. They should not be doing that. That is crack.
When you realize that the fruit cereals just have the fruit taste, they're not like the orange one isn't orange.
Yeah.
They're just all the multi-fruit taste.
Yeah.
So mine equals blown.
I did notice while I was at the store today that they have Post and Nabisco themed cereals. So like the Oreo-O's made a comeback, and now they have golden Oreo-O's. So they have like the golden Oreos.
Yeah.
They have that as a cereal now. And then they also have a Chips Ahoy cereal, which the first thing I did when I saw that was I went to see if Cookie Crisp was even on the shelf, and it wasn't. So I'm like, oh my god, is this the hostile takeover?
No, Cookie Crisp always wins.
I don't know. I didn't see it on that shelf.
Maybe your store just doesn't carry it.
I don't know. I went to
Cookie Crisp is an edgy cereal because they're mascots.
I didn't just go to a giant. I didn't just go to a giant supermarket. I went to the giant supermarket in the area.